making up stories that makes himself seem, it's a very Pisces man thing that I've seen it happen a lot. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Time. My name is Hallie, so grateful to have you all. I'm starting half year predictions, so in the middle of every year I do half year predictions. I'm going to do it the same way that I did the 2025 predictions. I'm going to do 5 different people at once. It just helps me with editing because for 5, 6 different 7 videos a week to edit is a pain in the butt. So I'm just going to do it as such. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please make sure you're subscribed. I see a lot of you writing comments and YouTube shows me. So if you don't have the red button next to your name, please subscribe. It really helps the channel. It helps with the algorithm, spreading my channel to other people and getting impressions out there. I have a sick colleague, unfortunately. He was diagnosed with cancer. I did see that some of you donated. Thank you so much for that, everybody. Thank you. I saw. So thank you. Please donate more if you can. Those that haven't donated, well, I'm speaking to those that haven't donated. If you can donate, please do. They found out that he has cancer and we just want to pay for his cancer treatment. I will be doing like a raffle fundraiser very soon. I just have a lot going on in my life right now. I want to do it from a clear place and a clear space, but I did donate my March proceeds or my March earnings to him, and personally I donated too, so fingers crossed, and he is in my prayers a lot. Yeah, so let's get into the reading. If you want to join the membership, please join. There's many great perks, including you get access to fun videos, early videos, and I make exclusive videos for members only. Okay, so I'm starting off this half year with Harry Styles, your favorite. Most of you, that's your favorite person that I do readings on. In fact, that's how my channel really grew. So Harry Styles fans, I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for all of you that support this channel. So I'm going to start off with him. You know, we have very similar charts, and I think that's why some of you have wrote. And I'm so grateful for this label. Some of you have said that I'm the best Harry Styles reader. I think it's because I can see him a lot. You know, Aquarius woman, I'm a Sun Aquarius woman, and he's a Sun Aquarius man. Whether we are in the feminine or masculine, you know, we tend to think similarly, but we behave differently. And I was actually talking to a colleague the other day. I found out she's an Aquarius. And she was like, I don't like Aquarius men. And I was like, I totally get it. So the reason I can read him is because we think very similarly, I think. We're very different, Aquarius, but we're different to other people, but we're similar to each other. And especially because our charts are very similar too. Very similar. It's kind of creepy. So with that being said, I'm going to start off with Harry Styles, and I'm going to use the Muse Tarot. I love this tarot deck. I never really used it that much. I don't know why actually, but I like it a lot. I just feel like it's not... I have about 20 decks, and I think sometimes I have a deck cabinet in my living room, and I just usually pick the top ones, and today I went deeper and I was like, I should probably use these other decks too. Okay, before we start, please like the video, and if you are joining later, there will be timestamps. If you want to just watch the later videos, there will be timestamps up throughout. So I'm starting with Harry Styles. I'll be doing Keanu Reeves, Justin Bieber, JLO, and Taylor Swift. I'm just reading my list. Okay, so Harry Styles. So when I was meditating, I got the energy of feeling kind of, and I have picked this up for a while. Sorry, I just drank a lot of water. You know, it takes a lot to digest. I felt this for quite a while, that he is overthinking. Aquarius, that is our thing. It's overthinking. In fact, and I do tell personal stories. If you're not in the mood for personal stories, I am not the reader for you. I like to relate it to real life because I think that's how we learn, and that's the whole point of this channel. So I was talking to another colleague who I absolutely adore, and she's a Cancer cusp, Leo cusp. And she was telling me that most of her friends are Aquarius, but we have trouble staying in the present. I can relate, and I see that very strongly with him over here. He has a lot going on in his head. A lot. And that's why I'm so grateful I found yoga, I found meditation, and I make sure that I practice at least some kind of physical activity every day. And I meditate daily. I meditate for at least 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. And it really, really helps get out of my thinking brain, because when those looping thoughts come over, it causes a lot of anxiety. I used to have anxiety as a kid. I solved a lot of the anxiety through meditation. So air signs in general, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, make sure that you meditate. It's very, very important for your well-being. And fire signs too. Fire signs need it a lot. It's like imperative. So I see him really thinking a lot, overthinking. He feels burdened. And with Page of Cups in reverse, I see very strongly that this kind of burden is related to him not feeling wanted and him feeling as though I'm never going to meet that person. You know, I think with the Hanged Muse, he feels, Aquarius, this is our vulnerability that we never really show people. And it was only when I was in a relationship with a Capricorn, which is ironic, because Capricorns are they lack vulnerability a lot. But his lack of vulnerability forced me to be vulnerable. And because because I had abandonment issues from a kid when I was a child, my childhood trauma, I translated that into my adulthood, and it forced me to become more vulnerable. And I think he, similarly with Camille Rowe getting engaged, somebody wrote that, which I said is ironic, being a Capricorn herself, he feels left out in the dark. And I strongly have believed this for a very long time, that his person, the person that he feels as though made an impact on him, was Camille Rowe. And I don't know what it is about Aquarius with Capricorns. And Scorpios. Aquarius with Capricorns and Scorpios, they have this effect on us that forces us to change a lot of the time. I don't know if you're an Aquarius, please write in the comment section if you felt like that. But it really forces us to change, to grow, and to just be different people. I don't know how to explain, to evolve, majorly evolve. So, with that being said, he feels left out. And he feels left out in the cold by her. And I think he might have been trying to communicate to her, to tell her, you left an imprint on me, Queen of Wands. I admire your spirit. And I think she felt so deeply hurt, Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck, by him, that she thought to herself, why are you even contacting me? You know, what do you want from me? But he just wants to have a clearing of the air. You know, Aquarius, the men behave differently to the women. Obviously, I've said that before. But something that's very prevalent in the sun sign of Aquarius is that when we need to have a conversation, we need to get it off our chest. And I feel as though needs to get something off his chest. And I don't think he wants her back. He has understood that they are not good together. But I think Eight of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and Ace of Pentacles, he just wants to wish her well. He wants to wish her well, but she's not there yet. She's not there yet because she wants to... She comes from the mind, the thought process, which is very Sun and Capricorn, that the best revenge is success, you know? And her moving on, her having a better life, she kind of wants to remind him that he's less than, you know, which is not coming from a good place. I don't really like it, but it's working on him. And that's the overthinking and the analyzing, which is what we do. Aquarius, we do that a lot. That's why I always say try to be present, Aquarius. Don't get stuck in your brain, because I've done that before. We get stuck in our head sometimes. Much better now. I'm much better now at it. But a lot of us, if you don't meditate, don't work on it, don't try to stay present, we can really, especially as kids, you know, people can think that We're not being present. We don't do well at school sometimes because we're just thinking about other things. We're consumed with our thoughts. And he's having like flashbacks of their relationship a lot. And he just wants to wish her well. And he wants to make peace with her. But she doesn't want it. And you can't force people, especially a Capricorn. You cannot force a Capricorn to do anything. They are very stubborn people. So Aquarius, we can be very stubborn. But when it's time to make peace and to move on, we tend to be more willing to do so in general. And she isn't willing to put things in the past. She wants to hold on to her anger for him because, sometimes it serves a purpose, anger. And it really depends what you use it for and towards. And I think sometimes, especially women, we have this innate nature sometimes within us that if we move on from an ex, we have to hate them for the rest of our lives. And men can be like that too, I agree with that. But I think women as a collective, we tend to berate and kind of speak negatively about our exes. It becomes a culture. And a culture that stops us. It's protection, yes, but it stops us from also living our best lives, So that's what I see for him, and I hope he breaks free of that. So let's see what kind of, because I did see music is coming. So let's see on the music front. So that's what coming in the springtime. It might be postponed now. Okay, I get October, but time is fluid because we have free will. 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, and 4 of Wands. Okay, so I see him celebrating. He's going to get out of this slump. Summertime often is, well, I see it being a good time for him. 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands. He's going to take the advice that I've given and be present, And something that really helps, last year I went through a situation with someone and I had to remind myself, I had to release a toxic situation. I don't want to get too much into it. But in doing so, I reminded myself, and my therapist helped me do this too, every day I planned something for myself. So I would go for a walk, or I would do a dance workout, or I would just watch a movie, do something every day to make me happy. And it really, really helped. And I see him doing something similarly, where he's going to focus his happiness, his time and energy on his happiness, and not be so consumed with thinking about her. And a long time ago, actually, when I was breaking up with that Capricorn from a long time ago, I heard this quote that made such an impact on my life. And it said, a year from now, you'll wish you had started today, So when we think about leaving a toxic relationship, a work situation that's not good for us, any kind of situation that is not benefiting us positively, because it should really benefit you, We go through rough times, but as a whole, your life should be it should be beneficially positive. So if it's not, you are allowed to leave. And if you're going through a situation like that and you do leave, just remember, a year from now, you'll wish it started today, And what seeds are you planting to make your life better? So that's what I have for you guys about hairstyles. Let's move on to Keanu Reeves. I'm going to use the Pixel Soleil Tarot. He is a Sun in Virgo. The last time I did a reading was actually, I think, 2025. I can't believe it's already been 5 months. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Absolutely wild. The last time I did it was about, I think I did in December, his. And I saw him doing a lot of projects. I saw like a black and white project. Old style film is going to come back into popularity. Like kind of Chuck Close type of cinematography. I know Chuck Close did photography. He was a photographer. but I see cinematography being black and white, very close-up shots of people. I see that of him. I see him in black and white with long hair. Let's see. Okay. Okie dokie. So it seems here as though he's going to have a very monumental role. He has been toying between, should I make money or should I be a true artist, which I totally understand, especially the San Virgo. They tend to be very successful what they do. I have a huge love for Sun Virgos. I think they're very underrated signs, very loyal, hardworking. And something about him that I really appreciate is that he's very sincere. Very, very sincere. He's got a pure soul. So he's toying between, do I go back to popular movies? Or do I do something that makes an impact, you know? And that's the artist, that's the artistry, that's the artist struggle, you know? So, 6 of Cups, 6 of Wands, and the Star. He is very focused on creating something. He might be directing a movie. I see 2. I see one where he's going to be acting in it, and I see one he's going to be directing. And the woman he's going to be directing, it's giving like Monica Bellucci energy. A lot of Italian style movies are coming back into style. Like I said, old style. What's that famous movie by Francis Ford Coppola? What's that movie? I don't know why it's in my head. But where she's in a car, it's like a mob family in Italy. They're in Sicily, I believe. And then also Monica Vitti, that type of movie. You know, and I see him using like a Monica Bellucci style. It might not be her, but her curvaceous, like very sultry. Him directing, I think it might even be in Italy. What is the name of that? The Godfather. And that type of movie where it's very, like I said, close-up shots, black and white. They might even speak in Italian. I see children too. But it's mainly focused around a woman, and she's a muse. I see this causing trouble in his relationship. I did say before that his ex has not his ex, excuse me, but I think she might be soon to be an ex. She has trouble, and it's not for the faint-hearted. Trust me, I've dated a lot of actors. None of them have had romantic roles when we dated, but it's not easy. It's not easy. I cannot even imagine being with somebody who's doing a sex scene and you're not in it. It's just, I don't know, it's not for me. And I'm not a jealous person, it's just not for me. So I understand where she's coming from. But she is going to be overly, especially because I do remember she's Sun in Aries, she's going to be very upset with him, to the point she's going to kind of distance herself from him, not want to speak to him, that kind of energy. And he is going to feel lost. She's going to act like she's okay with it in the beginning. I'm not saying that they do have a sex scene. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be okay with that. So I understand. But the way he looks at her on set and stuff like that, it's going to make it seem like he's in love with her because she's a muse. It might be that woman from Netflix's Blonde. It might be her. I also see kind of that energy. Might be her. I forgot her name. But she's very sultry. She's younger. You know, I think a lot of people when they get older, they get intimidated by youth. It's going to be a big problem in the relationship. 7 of Swords and Knight of Cups. Excuse me, Knight of Pentacles. And he's going to have to decide, is it worth it? I think people forget actors are human. You know, actors are human too. Oh wow. Okay, 8 of Swords, Ace of Swords, and 2 of Pentacles. Yes, you see. So she's going to ice herself away from him, and he's going to focus on work. And then I see that being the end of their relationship, unfortunately. Fortunately or fortunately, it just depends how you see it, you know. But I wish both of them, the best of luck. I've heard only wonderful things, positive things. I know people that have worked with him, and they say great things about him, so I wish him well. Okay, Justin Bieber, half year prediction. I'm going to be using the Earth Woman Tarot. Love this deck. I love the colors a lot. Like the midnight colors. Love. Okay, let's see. So as a son of Pisces, you know, I see him struggling. He has a lot of water in his chart. I don't remember his chart correctly, but I see he has a lot of water in his chart. Go back and watch my Justin Bieber videos. I've been almost accurate. The only thing that I do see happening that hasn't happened is that he and Hailey will separate. He's going to pull the Pisces kind of nice guy act on her, and see him being very manipulative towards Hailey. People look at Justin as being held captive by Hailey, and I'm not going to say it's the other way around. I don't see it like that, but I think Justin is just as manipulative as Hailey is. I have a lot of empathy for what he went through as a child, being a child star, being overly sexualized, you know, all that stuff. I really do empathize for him, but I really strongly feel like it's time for him to get his life together. And some of you Justin people don't agree with that. I got a lot of thumbs down. Not a lot. I got like 3 or 4 thumbs down on my Justin Bieber videos whenever I say that. It's just the truth. I'm called no light tarot for a reason. I don't believe in sugarcoating things. And I really strongly feel like it's time, Justin, to grow up. Especially because you are a dad. So with 3 of Wands, the Emperor, and Death. So, wow. It seems as though Hailey, I have predicted that she will be filing. I predicted that he's going to kind of trick her into doing it, or he's going to distance himself from her, say he's working a lot, he won't be working, making up stories that makes himself seem, it's a very Pisces man thing to do. I've seen it happen a lot. It's very unfortunate because I say it all the time, especially male Pisces, son of Pisces, learn to be direct. People don't like being given the runaround, because she's going to feel badly for divorcing him. She's thought about it, but she's thought, you know, I can't leave him. He needs me. He needs me. The real thing that he needs is professional help. It's not anything to do with her. She can't help him. And that's something I would tell all young women, as somebody that's gone through it myself. You cannot fix a man. You just cannot. And I think sometimes we feel like we are obliged to. We're obliged to stick around. We're obliged to stick it through, especially if we've already invested so much time, you know. But it's not up to you, Hailey, to fix him. He has some serious healing that he needs to do, and it is apart from you. It has nothing to do with you. So Knight of Pentacles, 4 Pentacles, and King of Swords. I see very strongly that he is planning this mastermind. She's going to realize the game that he's playing and then focus on herself. She's going to be completely in the dark, and then all of a sudden, boom, she's going to wake up and say, you know what, I'm being played. Hailey is. She's going to see that Justin is he's kind of like puppeteering her, and he has been. Even though it seems like Hailey is manipulative, I can totally see that. I think the more manipulative person in this situation is Justin, unfortunately. But I see things turning around. I see it's coming very soon. Whenever it happens, I wish them both well. I have said, let's see about his career, his music career. I have said that I strongly see that she will file after feeling neglected. It is just free will, and I think the reason why she hasn't is number one, because she's stubborn. Sun and Sagittarius, very stubborn. And number two, because she feels like she cannot leave him. They're both afraid to be alone, which is very valid. Let's see his career, his music. Wow, okay. So I was accurate about this. I haven't said before. I haven't done a follow-up about this, about him selling. Some of you will ask me, why was he selling his catalog? I said he was going to take control of his finances. That was the beginning step. And I was watching Brett Cooper, and she was talking about it. I haven't watched it in a while, and then she showed up on my algorithm. I was watching Brett Cooper, and she was talking about it. She was just saying she has an insider with Justin Bieber. I don't think he's innocent. I really don't think he's innocent. But I do see how he fell victim. And she also did mention Scooter Braun being shady, which I've done a video about too. I got a lot of backlash about it. But I said Scooter Braun is up to no good, in my opinion, what the tarot tells me. So with Page of Swords, Nine of Swords, and Six of Swords, I'm going to start with Page of Swords. So it seems as though he's trying to get a feeler. Justin fans are not going to like what I have to say, and I'll take the backlash. His shadow side is that he's very manipulative. Very, very manipulative. And he is purposefully encountering these paparazzi to get sympathy for himself. He wants the world to feel sorry for him so that he's not really held accountable for any destructive financial and business situations or decisions that he might make. So it's not looking good for his finances. Nine of Swords and Six of Swords. It's not looking good. In fact, I see here he had to distance himself from Lou Taylor. He thought Lou Taylor, which I think Brett did say. I don't fully remember the video. I was watching it while I was coding, so I just remember the beginning about her saying she had an insider, and a lot of what I said in the beginning was accurate. I didn't get to the end, but it was playing like in the background, so I didn't really watch it. But I do see here that Lou Taylor, he's having to distance himself from Lou Taylor because he found out she was a snake. I see him fighting a lot with Haley. Oh my gosh, this is not a good environment for a kid. That poor kid. They argue a lot. A lot. And even her parents have to get involved. And I see her crying. Oh my god, this is horrible. Six of Cups, the Moon, Eight of Cups. They cry. They say they're going to break up. Then her parents get involved, and then she comes back into the picture. So with Six of Cups, the Moon, and Eight of Cups, a lot of secrets. The Moon is the card of Pisces. It's also about secrets and dreams. But in this circumstance, I definitely think it's about secrets. And the secrets that he's been hiding. He's in a lot of emotional torment. And he really should not even be in a relationship. He needs to heal. He strongly needs to heal. So, let's move on to JLO. I wish him well, I really do. I have a soft spot for Justin Bieber. I'm talking to him like he's my kid, you know. But he strongly needs to heal. Sorry about the whole of my shirt, guys. I think you might have seen the whole of my shirt. I'm sorry. I saw when I was putting it on, I was like, you know what, I'm too lazy to pick another shirt. So, sorry if you saw that. It should be under. Okay, JLO for 2025. Okay, wow. So I'm using the Lightyear's Tarot for this. Wow, so I saw when I was shuffling the cards, her being on the cover of a magazine. It looks like In Style magazine. And she's going to do an expose. It's either In Style or it's L. I see an E at the end. And she's going to do like an expose about her and Ben Affleck. She's going to say that I saw this already before, I'm seeing it again, that she wasn't happy with him. It's unfortunate, and I want to tell you guys a quick story, not to make it about myself, but I've seen how famous people can use the public to make you feel bad about yourself if you've been in their life. And I have a famous ex who is in music. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to reveal his character, his personality, because I think that's very sacred. But something that he did was that he wrote a song that I was cold and mean, and it just gave like a fraction of the story to insult me. He was weaponizing it against me. JLO is going to do the same with Ben Affleck. She's going to use the media to weaponize her story, to victimize herself, so that everybody feels bad for her. In JLo's mind, she's the continual victim. And this is the shadow side of Leos. You know, I love Leo as a sign. I don't have that many close Leos to me, except with my family. My family, the Leos, except for one person, who I'm not going to mention. The other Leos in my family are not like this at all. But sometimes Leos can make themselves big victims. Leos can be the ultimate narcissist. The ultimate. Because it's everybody else's fault but them. And how they do that is that they portray themselves as this grandiose person, this perfect person, this person that can do no wrong, when inside there's a lot of pain, a lot of hurting, and a lot of deep insecurities that they'll never be vulnerable enough to expose. So the Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, and the Sun, I see her moving. And I see her actually moving back to New York, which is very interesting. I see her moving back to New York. And she's going to, I did say this before, I predicted it, you know, time is fluid, but I predicted it last year that she's going to be like Jenny from the block again and get back to her roots. But I think she's kind of outgrown them. Honestly, it is what it is. That's just my opinion. I don't think she's connected to the Bronx at all anymore, but she's going to claim the Bronx. I saw her having an ex, and I don't see who this guy is. I don't see it being Drake. Some of you said Drake. I don't see it being Drake. It's an ex that she had. He might not have been that well known, who's going to come back around, who was kind of hood. And she's going to get this whole Jenny from the block. She's gone back and looked at what was the most popular era of my life. She's very Sun and Leos. I say this a lot of the time. As I've said, I love Sun and Leos. But something that they struggle with is that they want to be popular. I have equated it before to being, you know, the movie Wicked. If you've seen the movie Wicked, I love it, love it, love it. Or the show, the theatre production. They want to be the Galinda types, you know. They want to be popular. They'll do anything, even if it means stepping on somebody, stepping over somebody, making fun of people, you know, dressing, having the right dress. They want to be popular. They thrive off of other people's opinions of them. And it ends up being their demise, because you cannot live your life at the expectations of others. You just cannot. You end up being depressed. And that's why some of Sun and Leos, they're very depressed. They have this depression that comes from not being liked. And she's really going to suffer from this. So, like I said, 2 of Wands, the Lovers, and 8 of Cups. There's going to be this man from her past, an ex, that, because a lot of what comes with being liked is being loved. And being liked and loved is often equated as the same thing, because to JLo, from what I've seen and what I see in the tarot, is that her likeness depends on the man that she's with. Which is, it's very trauma-based thinking, which is very unfortunate. So she's going to debut this new man. I want to say September. We're going to hear about it around September, October, during the autumn, because I see her in New York in a coat, not a winter coat, but like an autumn coat. She's very well dressed, always very well dressed. She dresses very, very well. But we're going to see about it. It's not A-Rod. It's somebody who's based in New York. I don't know. It's going to be revealed. I can't see him yet. I can't see him for some reason. I just can't see him. But it will be revealed very soon. And everybody's going to hear about it. Then, once she's moved on, she's going to speak about Ben. She's going to throw Ben under the bus and say that he made her feel badly about herself. She never felt, she felt like his family was racist. She's going to say something like that. Which I have alluded to kind of. I don't think his family is racist. But I do think that, especially because JLO has a very particular accent, you know, if you come from an affluent family that's predominantly of a certain race, a certain demographic, which Ben Affleck happens to be white, it does, I think his family he comes from a family of snobs, and I think his race is aside from that. But people confuse race and culture, because I think his family looks down upon JLo and her culture, you know. It is also like a New York thing. Some people look down upon New Yorkers, and they think that, and I can include myself because I lived in New York a long time. I was born in New York. They think that we are crass. They think that we're lower class. They think that we're too upfront, you know. In fact, when I live in other places, I have to tone myself down because I'm very direct, and people, other than New Yorkers, people can, and London, people in London are very direct too. But other than that, people can be very off-put by honesty. And I see that being the clash with him, their family, his family, and her, is that I think she was too direct. I see a lot of good qualities in JLo. I'm not going to say she's a bad person, because I don't want to do that. But I do think she has a lot of healing to do. And it's not too late. It's never ever too late for people to heal and grow. I still have hope for her, and I hope she takes the opportunity to really grow. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, we're going to move on to last but not least, one of my favorites that I like to cover because I like talking about Sun and Sagittarius. I find them very fascinating, and that's Taylor Swift. So same thing with Taylor that I see with the situation with Hailey and Justin, who Hailey's also Sun and Sagittarius. Sun and Sagittarius can stay in relationships to defy other people. You know, Aquarius, we get the reputation for being rebellious, which we genuinely are. But Sagittarius are very rebellious too. Very rebellious. They will go against the grain a lot, especially with people that they are in relationships with, just to prove the other person wrong. So, let's see. So, with Seven of Wands, the Tower. Okay, so I see, very interesting. I see like an EP coming out, a remixed version of, she's a very hard worker. Something, fire signs in general, Aries, Leos and Sagittarius, they work very, very hard. Very, very hard. And I really appreciate that about them. It's admirable. So Seven of Wands, the Tower and Queen of Swords. We're going to wake up one day to an article, they broke up. And it's going to come from her camp. She wants to control it. At this point, I get before Thanksgiving. It's been postponed because of what's happened with Blake, because of what's happened with the Super Bowl. She is at the point where it's very sad. She's feeling very down about herself. And I only wish her well, you know. I may not agree with everything she does, but we don't have to be mean to one another. We can still be, I wouldn't say kind, but be gracious and offer people grace. when they're in their low points in life. And especially if you don't know the person. If the person's done you wrong, you don't have to wish them well. But if you don't know the person and they're going through a hard time, I strongly believe in just wishing them well. So with the Empress and Queen of Wands, she's going to take some kind of action. What kind of action is she going to take that proves, and this is the thing about fire signs that I don't agree with, is that the shadow side is that they feel like they have to prove that they're worthy to people. Especially because I see, you know, in this commentary that I don't like about Taylor Swift, when they say this about her, they'll call her like geriatric and all this mean stuff, and I really don't like that. It's not okay to say. It's not okay to say it was very awful, especially because I'm technically geriatric, but what does that mean nowadays? But she's really taking it to heart, and I think sometimes she thinks, am I ever going to be with somebody? Am I ever going to be with somebody? I think this relationship with Travis wasn't even real, you know. I think at the beginning it was fun, it was flirtatious, but she doesn't, it must be very tough being a woman in her 30s, a celebrity. Sometimes I feel like that, I'm not even famous, where people will push onto me, why aren't you married? Why aren't you have kids? And I have to remind myself and remind other people, I'm not living for them. I'm living for myself, my future husband, and my future kids. And if you rush into the wrong thing, you'll just end up divorced. And I would implore her to take the same advice. Don't rush. Your time is coming. Especially now, technology, you can have kids later. If you want, you can even adopt. There's so many kids that want to be adopted, you know. But make sure it's right. 9 of Wands, Page of Coins, and 4 of Wands. So I do see her meeting somebody after. I've said this before. When she gets into a real relationship, she will be very happy with that person. It's not going to happen this year. I don't see it happening this year. But by the time she's 38, she's going to meet this person. And again, don't rush. You know, I was looking at this quote on Instagram. And it said, if you're in your 30s and single, statistically, you have bypassed a divorce. I say it all the time. I know I've been engaged twice. I would have been divorced by now. I do. I really strongly believe I've been engaged twice, and I know I'd be divorced, because not the twice times, but I think I'd be divorced once. And it's not bad. Divorce is not bad, but I never saw that for me. I saw my parents get divorced. I've seen exes get divorced. I've seen friends get divorced. It's not for me. I don't plan. I know people don't plan on it, but that's why I waited to have kids and to be married, because I don't want to be divorced. And who knows? Life can happen. Divorces aren't bad. It's just not for me. And I just want to encourage her that just because people get married young does not mean that they're happy, does not mean that they'll stay married. Your path is your path, and you are going to live with it, not anybody else. And I would just encourage her, you know, because I see her reading articles and really getting upset about it. I would encourage her, it's not worth it. Live your life, make yourself happy. And you know, I actually put this into practice in my last little story. I used to be on social media a lot. I go on social media a lot less lately, because I used to end up, especially with Justin Baldoni, I would fight with people that were insulting him, which is totally a waste of my time. I just don't like when people are bullied. And I noticed I was getting really worked up about it. So I said to myself, when I see an article I don't like, I'm going to turn off my phone, switch off Instagram, switch off whatever social media I'm on, and do something that makes me happy. Write, sing, go out for a walk, but do something that's fulfilling instead of being caught up in these little messes, you know. So I encourage her and all of you that are watching to do the same. Focus on things that make you happy in your daily life. So that's what I have for you guys. Next week I will have more. Please stay tuned. I love you all. Like, subscribe, comment. Take care.